The light hit Rowan like a physical blow, cold and blinding, flooding the shed until she couldn't see her own hands. She stumbled backward, her spine slamming into the wooden wall, splinters catching her shirt. The owl she'd bandaged 3 days ago was no longer an owl. It was screaming. Not in pain. In transformation. The sound was bones breaking and reforming, feathers tearing free like paper in wind, a heartbeat thundering so loud it drowned out her own. She squeezed her eyes shut, but the light burned through her eyelids, white and merciless. The air smelled wrong. Like winter stars, if stars had a scent. Like metal and frost and something ancient she had no name for. Then silence. Rowan opened her eyes. A man stood where the bird had been. Tall. Barefoot. Silver-white hair falling past sharp cheekbones, skin pale as moonlight. He wore dark clothing that looked woven from shadow itself, clinging to a lean, muscular frame. But it was his eyes that stole her breath. Gold. Molten and burning, fixed on her with an intensity that made her knees weak. He was the most beautiful and terrifying thing she had ever seen. Rowan's breath came in shallow gasps. Her brain screamed at her to run. Her heart told her to stay. "You saved him," it whispered. "Don't abandon him now." The man took a step forward. His voice was low, rough, like he hadn't spoken in years. "Thank you." She pressed harder against the wall. "For what?" "For your mercy." His gaze never left hers. "And I am sorry." "Sorry?" Her voice cracked. "Sorry for what?" "For damning you." He moved closer, and she noticed he was shaking. Not from fear. From exhaustion. From something deeper. "You saved my life, and now they know where I am. They will come for me. And when they do, they will not spare you." "Who?" Rowan's fists clenched. "Who's coming?" "Kael Thorne. That is my name." The words came out like a confession. "I am a vampire lord. I was cursed, trapped in that form to die. You broke the curse. But my enemies felt it the moment I returned." He exhaled, and she saw the guilt etched into every line of his face. "They will burn this place to ash to find me." Rowan's pulse hammered. The orphanage. The kids sleeping upstairs. Mrs. Gable. Everything she had left. "Then leave," she said, though her voice betrayed her. "Go. Now." Kael's jaw tightened. "If I leave, they will still come. They will question you. Hurt you. They will want to know how a human broke a blood curse." Her chin lifted. "I don't scare easy." Something flickered in his golden eyes. Surprise. Respect. "You should. Maybe." She swallowed hard. "But I don't abandon people who need help." For a moment, he just stared at her, this fragile human girl with dirt on her knees and fire in her voice. Then his head snapped toward the door. "They are here." Rowan heard it then. The distant growl of engines. Tires on gravel. Voices carried on the wind. Kael turned to her, and his expression was raw. "They will not just kill me. They will burn everything you love to find me." Her heart stopped. "What do I do?" His eyes met hers. "You choose. Send me away and pray they believe you knew nothing. Or hide me and risk everything." The engines grew louder. "What would you do? Save a stranger who might be a monster, or protect the only home you've ever known? Let me know in the comments, because what Rowan decides next changes everything." Rowan made her decision in a heartbeat. "Follow me." She grabbed Kael's wrist. His skin was ice cold. She pulled him out of the shed into the November darkness, staying low, moving fast along the tree line toward the back of the orphanage. The main house loomed above them, lights glowing in the upstairs windows where the children slept. The vehicle's sounds grew closer. Headlights swept across the front gate. Here. Rowan yanked open a half-hidden cellar door, old hinges screaming. Stone steps descended into blackness. It was the coal cellar, abandoned for decades. Mrs. Gable didn't even remember it existed. Kael hesitated. If they find me near the children, they won't. She met his eyes. Trust me. He descended without another word. Rowan slammed the door shut, kicked dirt and dead leaves over it, then sprinted toward the front of the house. She hit the porch just as 3 figures stepped out of a black SUV. They looked human. Moved like humans. But something was wrong. Too graceful. Too still. The one in front was tall, dark-haired, wearing an expensive coat that didn't belong in rural Oregon. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Good evening. His voice was silk over steel. I am Draven. We are with the State Oversight Committee. We need to speak with the administrator. Rowan forced herself to breathe normally. It is almost midnight. The kids are asleep. Then we will speak quietly. He took a step forward. There have been reports of unusual activity in this area. We are conducting welfare checks. Her stomach twisted. What kind of activity? The dangerous kind. His nostrils flared slightly, and his gaze sharpened on her. Have you seen anything unusual tonight? Anyone who does not belong? Rowan kept her face blank. Just you. The woman beside Draven laughed, a cold sound. Draven's eyes narrowed. What is your name? Rowan Ashford. You live here? I work here. She crossed her arms. And unless you have a warrant, you can come back in the morning. Draven stepped closer. She smelled rain and copper. Bold, he murmured. For someone with so much to lose. The porch light flicked on. What on earth is going on out here? Mrs. Gable stood in the doorway, bathrobe cinched tight, eyes sharp despite the late hour. Who are you people? Draven's expression smoothed into politeness. State committee, ma'am. Routine check. At midnight? Mrs. Gable snorted. I have been running this orphanage for 30 years. You show up during business hours with paperwork, or you leave. Now. The 2 vampires behind Draven tensed. Rowan saw their eyes flash red in the darkness. Draven smiled. Of course. Our apologies. He looked back at Rowan, and his voice dropped. We will return. Soon. They walked back to the SUV with inhuman precision. The engine purred to life. But before they drove away, Draven rolled down the window. You smell like him, he called to Rowan. Whoever you are hiding, it will not end well. The SUV vanished into the night. Mrs. Gable grabbed Rowan's shoulder. What was that about? Nothing. Just weirdos. Rowan forced a smile. Go back to bed. I will lock up. The older woman studied her, then sighed. You are a terrible liar, Rowan Ashford. But I trust you. She squeezed her shoulder and went inside. Rowan waited until the house was silent. Then she ran. The cellar door felt heavier this time. She climbed down into darkness, pulling the door shut behind her. Kael? Here. She found him sitting against the stone wall, head tilted back, eyes closed. Even in the blackness, he seemed to glow faintly. "They are gone," she whispered. "For now." He opened his eyes. "You lied for me. I lied for the kids." Kael's smile was sad. "Tell yourself that if it helps." Rowan knelt beside him. "Are you okay?" "No." His voice was strained. "The curse took more than my form. It drained my power. I need blood to heal fully." Her throat tightened. "Human blood?" "Yes." Silence stretched between them. "Then take mine." Kael's eyes snapped to hers. "Absolutely not." "Why?" She leaned closer. "You said they are coming back. You said I am already in danger. If you are weak, we both die. So take what you need. You do not understand what you are offering. I understand enough." Her hand found his. "If it saves the kids upstairs, if it gives us a chance, then do it." Kael stared at her like she was something holy and heartbreaking. "I will not take without your consent." "Say it clearly." "I consent." He moved so fast she gasped. One moment he was across from her, the next he was beside her, his hand cradling the back of her neck. His breath was cold against her throat. "It will hurt," he whispered. "Then it will not. I promise." She closed her eyes. "I trust you." His fangs pierced her skin. The pain was sharp and bright, but it lasted only a second. Then warmth flooded her, strange and dizzying. She felt his heartbeat sync with hers, a rhythm that should not exist. The cellar dissolved. She saw a battlefield. A young man screaming as his village burned. She saw him begging the darkness. Saw the transformation. Saw 300 years of loneliness, of fighting to hold on to humanity while the monster inside clawed for freedom. She saw Kael building laws to protect the innocent. Saw him spare enemies who deserved death. Saw him alone in a vast manor, surrounded by power but starving for connection. She saw the ambush. The witch. The curse. The owl falling into the brambles, broken and dying. Then she saw herself, kneeling in the dirt, whispering kindness to a creature she did not know. Her hands gentle on shattered wings. Kael pulled away, gasping. His eyes were blazing gold, his color restored. "Rowan?" She swayed. He caught her, lowering her carefully to the ground. "I saw you," she breathed. "All of you. The blood bond." His voice shook. "You should not have seen that much. You are not." Her eyes went wide. "I see her. Right now." "What?" "A woman. Red eyes. She is in a room full of vampires. She is laughing. She is planning something tomorrow night." Rowan gripped his arm. "A massacre. The Thanksgiving gathering in town. Hundreds of people. She is going to kill them and blame you." Kael went white. "Valora." Rowan's vision cleared, but the image burned in her mind. She is going to start a war. Can Kael stop a war he did not start, or is Rowan's vision already too late? "Tell me what you think happens next." Rowan woke to the smell of pumpkin pie and the sound of children laughing. For a moment, she forgot. Then her neck throbbed where Kael had bitten her, and everything came rushing back. She sat up in her small bedroom, sunlight streaming through the cracked window. Thanksgiving morning. The orphanage was alive with noise. Mrs. Gable was already corralling the younger kids, getting them ready for the town festival. Rowan's hands shook as she buttoned her flannel shirt high enough to cover the bite marks. She found Kael in the cellar, standing in the shadows away from the narrow window. He looked stronger. The exhaustion was gone from his face, replaced by something harder. He was planning. "We have until sunset," he said without greeting. "The Laura will strike when the crowds are largest. Maximum casualties. Maximum fear." Rowan descended the stairs. "How do we stop her?" "I need to reach my allies." "Thornwold Manor. It is deep in the forest. If I can gather my coven, we have a chance." "Then let's go." Kael turned to her. "No. You stay here. You have done enough." She laughed, sharp and bitter. "You think I can just serve pie while people die? While she kills kids to get to you? You are human." His voice was strained. "This is not your war. You made it my war when you told me about it." She stepped closer. "And you are not strong enough alone. You said the curse drained you. You took my blood, but that is not enough to face an army. You need me. You do not even know what you are asking." "I know exactly what I am asking." Her eyes burned. "I am asking to fight for people who cannot fight for themselves. That is all I have ever done." Kael stared at her, and something cracked in his expression. "You are going to get yourself killed." "Maybe." She grabbed her coat from the hook. "But I would rather die fighting than live knowing I did nothing." He was silent for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Stay close to me. Do exactly as I say. And if I tell you to run, you run. Deal." They left through the back, slipping into the forest as the orphanage buzzed with holiday preparations. The woods were dense and cold, mist clinging to the trees. Kael moved like a shadow. Rowan struggled to keep up, her breath misting in the frozen air. As they walked, he told her everything. About the Bloodborne. The ancient covens. The treaty that kept vampires hidden and humans safe. About Valora Crimson, who believed vampires should rule, not hide. Who saw Kael's compassion as weakness and his laws as chains. "She wants power," Kael said, his voice low. "And she will drown this town in blood to take it." "Why the town? Why not just come for you?" "Because if she massacres humans and makes it look like I broke the treaty, every vampire house in the country will demand my execution. She takes my throne, my territory, and my life in one move." Rowan's stomach twisted. "That is insane. That is ambition." They walked in silence for a while. Then Rowan asked the question that had been burning in her mind since the cellar. "When you drank my blood, I saw your memories. Do you see mine?" "Yes." "What did you see?" Kael's pace slowed. "A little girl in the rain. Alone. Terrified. Then years of silence. Of making yourself invisible." He looked at her. "You have been surviving your whole life, Rowan. You deserve to live." Her throat tightened. "So do you." His hand brushed hers, just for a second. The touch sent warmth through her chest. The forest opened into a clearing, and Rowan stopped breathing. Thornwold Manor rose before them like something out of a Gothic dream. Stone and iron and stained glass, ancient and beautiful, wrapped in mist. Gargoyles perched on the corners. Vines climbed the walls. It looked like it had been standing for centuries, and it probably had. Two figures stood at the entrance. A woman with short dark hair and a man with silver streaks at his temples. Both watched Rowan with glowing eyes. The woman, Sienna, moved faster than Rowan could track. She was suddenly inches from Kael, her hand on his chest. My lord. We felt the curse break. We thought, I am alive. Thanks to her. Kael gestured to Rowan. Sienna's gaze cut to Rowan like a blade. A human. Her name is Rowan. She saved my life. Sienna circled Rowan slowly, nostrils flaring. Humans are the reason we are hunted. The reason we hide. She will betray you the moment it benefits her. Rowan lifted her chin. I have had plenty of chances to betray him. I am still here. Words are cheap. Then test me. Sienna's smile was all teeth. Oh, I will. Enough. Kael's voice cracked like a whip. Rowan is under my protection. Anyone who harms her answers to me. The clearing went silent. Orphan stepped forward, breaking the tension. My lord, there is something you need to know. Valora has taken Felix. Kael went rigid. When? Last night. She is holding him in the old church on the edge of town. She is torturing him. Publicly. Other covens are watching. Rowan's blood ran cold. Why? Orphan's eyes were sad. To draw you out. To prove you are weak. It is working. Kael's fists clenched. Sienna touched his arm. It is a trap. I know. Before anyone could speak, a figure emerged from the manor. A young vampire, barely more than a boy, holding a black envelope. My lord. This arrived an hour ago. Kael took it. Broke the crimson seal. His face went white as he read. Rowan stepped closer. What does it say? Kael's voice was hollow. Valora invites me to meet her at the town square. Sunset. If I do not come, she will slaughter every human there. Starting with the children from Mercy Ridge Orphanage. Rowan's world tilted. Her kids. The ones she tucked in at night. The ones who called her name when they had nightmares. Kael looked at her, and she saw the same terror in his eyes. It is a trap, but what choice do they have? Tell me in the comments what you would do, because the clock is already ticking. The sun was already sinking when they finished preparing. Kael stood in the armory at Thornwald Manor, a room lined with ancient weapons that gleamed in the fading light. He selected a blade from the wall, small and silver, with an owl engraved into the hilt. He turned to Rowan. Take this. She stared at the dagger. I do not know how to fight. You do not need to. His voice was quiet. But if something happens to me, if I lose control, if the bloodlust takes over, you use this. You end it. Her hands trembled as she took the blade. It was surprisingly light. Kael, I cannot. You can. His golden eyes held hers. You are stronger than you know, Rowan Ashford. And I trust you more than I have trusted anyone in 3 centuries. The weight of those words settled between them. Sienna appeared in the doorway. It is time. Kael looked at Rowan one last time. You can stay here. Sienna and Orphan will protect you. You do not have to come. Rowan slid the dagger into her belt. Those are my kids. I am coming. Something flickered across his face. Pride. Fear. Something deeper he did not name. Then stay close to me. They drove into town in silence, Sienna at the wheel, Orphan beside her. Rowan sat in the back next to Kael, watching the sky bleed from orange to purple. The sun was a dying ember on the horizon. Pinehaven's town square was packed. The Thanksgiving festival was in full swing. Families wandered between craft booths. Children shrieked with laughter on carnival rides. The smell of roasted turkey and cider filled the air. String lights glowed overhead like trapped stars. No one knew they were standing in a killing field. Rowan spotted them immediately. The orphanage kids clustered near the main stage, Mrs. Gable counting heads. Her chest tightened. She wanted to run to them, grab them, get them far away. Kael's hand found hers. Steady. The crowd began to shift. Whispers spread like wildfire. People stepped back, creating a circle in the center of the square. She had arrived. The Laura Crimson was stunning. Tall and lethal, dressed in deep red that matched her name, dark hair cascading over bare shoulders. She moved through the crowd like a queen, and the humans parted without knowing why. Her smile was cruel and perfect. 24 vampires materialized around the square's perimeter. Draven among them. The humans could not see them for what they were. Not yet. Valora's voice carried across the square, amplified by supernatural power. Kael Thorne. How good of you to accept my invitation. Kael stepped forward, and Rowan felt the air pressure change. His power radiated outward, a silent warning. Valora. Release Felix. Let these people go. This is between us. Valora laughed, and it sounded like breaking glass. Between us? No, darling. This is about showing everyone what you have become. She gestured to Rowan. You have broken the oldest law. Consorting with a human. Making her your weakness. The crowd murmured. Some humans were starting to notice that something was wrong. She is under my protection, Kael said. That is all. Protection? Valora's eyes glowed red. You drank from her. Bonded with her. You have made her a target for every enemy you have ever made. She tilted her head. The treaty is clear. Humans and Bloodborne do not mix. She must die to restore order. Rowan's pulse hammered. The dagger at her belt suddenly felt heavy. Kael's voice dropped, deadly calm. You want me, Valora. Face me. One-on-one. The human way. No followers. No tricks. You win, you take my territory. I win, you leave this town and never return. Valora's smile widened. How noble. She raised her hand. Agreed. The two vampires began to circle each other. The crowd pressed back. Some people were filming on their phones. Others were herding children away. Mrs. Gable was trying to move the orphans, but they were trapped by the crush of bodies. Kael and Valora collided. It was like watching lightning fight shadow. They moved faster than human eyes could track. Kael's fist connected with Valora's jaw, snapping her head back. She spun, her nails raking across his chest, drawing blood. They broke apart, circled, lunged again. Rowan could barely breathe. Valora was laughing. You think love makes you strong? It makes you pathetic. Kael slammed her into the ground. Love makes me remember what I am fighting for. And that was when Rowan realized it. She loved him. This ancient, dangerous, impossible man who had been a broken bird in her hands. She loved him, and it terrified her more than any vampire ever could. Valora's eyes flicked to Draven. The signal. Draven moved. He crossed the distance to Rowan in a heartbeat, his hand locking around her throat, lifting her off the ground. Kael turned, distracted for just a second. Valora struck. Her hand punched through Kael's chest. The world stopped. Kael gasped. blood poured from the wound, dark and shimmering. He fell to his knees. Valora yanked her hand free, and he collapsed onto the cobblestones. Rowan screamed. Draven's grip tightened, cutting off her air. Valora walked toward them, blood dripping from her fingers. She crouched beside Rowan, her smile mocking. "Watch your hero die," she whispered. "Then I will kill you. And every child here will forget vampires ever showed mercy." Kael's blood pooled on the ground, spreading toward Rowan's feet. The dagger at her belt pulsed with sudden, searing heat. A voice whispered in her mind, ancient and layered. "The blade answers to the pure of heart. Strike true, and the guilty will fall." Rowan's vision sharpened. In the crowd, half hidden behind a pretzel cart, she saw him. The blood mage from her vision. Onthar. His fingers were moving in subtle patterns, weaving magic, feeding power to Valora's strike, binding Kael's strength even now. He was the anchor. The source. Rowan grabbed the dagger. Draven squeezed harder, but she twisted, slamming her elbow into his ribs with strength she should not have. He grunted, surprised, and his grip loosened just enough. She dropped, rolled, and lunged. Not at Valora. At Onthar. The mage's eyes widened. He raised his hands to cast, but Rowan was faster. The dagger plunged into his chest, and the blade ignited with white fire. Onthar shrieked, a sound that shattered windows. The magic binding Kael exploded outward in a shockwave of light. Kael's eyes blazed molten gold. His wounds closed. Power flooded back into him, raw and unstoppable. He rose, and the air itself seemed to kneel. The real villain was hiding in plain sight. Did you see it coming? Drop a comment if you are stunned, because what happens next will blow your mind. Kael Thorne rose like a god of vengeance. The ground beneath him cracked, spiderwebbing outward. His eyes burned so bright they cast shadows across the square. Power radiated from him in waves that made the string lights flicker and die. Even Valora took a step back. "You wanted a monster," Kael said, his voice echoing with centuries of rage. "Let me show you one." He moved. Valora barely had time to block before his fist collided with her face, sending her crashing through a wooden booth. Splinters exploded into the air. Screams erupted from the crowd. People were running now, parents grabbing children, vendors abandoning carts. Rowan pulled the dagger from Onthar's dissolving body. The mage crumbled to ash, his scream still echoing. She turned to see chaos. Valora's followers were attacking. Draven lunged at a fleeing family. Rowan did not think. She just moved. The dagger was still hot in her hand. She threw herself between Draven and the little girl, the blade slashing across his arm. He hissed, stumbling back, shock on his face. "You cut me," he breathed. "How did you?" Rowan did not wait for him to finish. She grabbed the little girl and shoved her toward Mrs. Gable. "Get them out of here." Mrs. Gable's face was white with terror, but she nodded. She began herding children toward the side streets, her voice sharp and commanding even as her hands shook. A howl split the air. Sienna and Oren crashed into the square, and behind them came more vampires. Kael's loyalists. 24 warriors in dark clothing, their eyes glowing with purpose. The battle exploded across the square. Vampire against vampire. Supernatural speed and strength on full display. Humans who had not fled yet stood frozen, filming, witnessing something that would change their world forever. Kael and Valora were locked in combat at the center. She was fast, vicious, her nails like claws. But Kael was faster. Stronger. Every blow he landed was precise, controlled, devastating. He was holding back just enough not to kill her. Valora realized it too. Her face twisted with rage. She could not win. Not fairly. Her eyes scanned the fleeing crowd and locked on a target. A little boy, separated from his mother, crying near the fountain. Valora moved. Rowan saw it happen. Saw Valora break away from Kael, saw her cross the distance in a blur, saw her hand reach for the child. No. Rowan's body moved before her mind caught up. She slammed into Valora with a force that should have been impossible. They both went down hard, rolling across the cobblestones. The little boy scrambled away. Valora was on her feet first, eyes wide with disbelief. "What are you?" Rowan stood, dagger raised. "The woman you underestimated." Valora laughed, shrill and furious. "You are human. Fragile. Pathetic. Then why are you afraid?" Valora lunged. Rowan met her. The dagger flashed. Valora dodged, but not fast enough. The blade caught her shoulder, and she screamed. Rowan pressed the attack, moving with speed and instinct she did not understand. Her body knew what to do, even if her mind did not. She was faster than she should be. Stronger. Her reflexes were sharper, her movements fluid. Kael noticed. He was fighting off two of Valora's guards, but his eyes tracked Rowan across the square. He saw her move like something more than human. Saw the blade glow brighter in her hands. Saw the impossible. The blood bond, he realized. And something else. Something deeper. Rowan drove Valora back, step by step, until the vampire's shoulders hit the fountain. Valora's face was a mask of rage and fear. Kael was there in an instant. His hand closed around Valora's throat, lifting her off the ground. "It is over," he said quietly. Valora spat blood. "Kill me then. Prove you are still a monster." The square went silent. Every vampire, every human still present, watched. Kael met Rowan's eyes. She saw the choice warring in him. Vengeance or mercy. The monster he had been or the man he wanted to be. Rowan lowered her dagger. "You are not a monster, Kael. Do not let her make you one." Kael's grip loosened. He lowered Valora to the ground but did not release her. "You wanted my throne. My power. You can have neither." He turned to address the gathered vampires, his voice carrying across the square. "Valora Crimson is stripped of rank and territory. She is banished from these lands. If she returns, the sentence is death." Sienna and Oren moved forward, taking Valora by the arms. Valora's face twisted with hatred. She looked at Rowan. "You will regret choosing the human, Thorne. She is not what she seems." Her voice dropped to a venomous whisper. "Ask her about her mother." Rowan went cold. Valora laughed as she was dragged away. "You think you know what you are, little girl? You have no idea." Then she was gone, vanished into the shadows with Sienna and Oren as her escort into exile. The remaining vampires bowed to Kael and dispersed. The square emptied of the supernatural in seconds, leaving only humans. And questions. The town sheriff stepped forward, his hand on his holstered gun but not drawing it. His name was Bill Cordero, and he had lived in Pinehaven his entire life. His voice shook but held firm. "What in God's name just happened here?" Kael faced him. No lies. No deflection. The truth. "There is a world you do not see, Sheriff. My people have lived alongside yours for centuries. We are bound by a treaty. We do not harm humans. Humans do not hunt us. Tonight, one of my kind tried to break that treaty. She has been dealt with. You are saying vampires are real? The sheriff's face was ashen. Yes. A woman in the crowd shouted, her phone still recording. How do we know you will not kill us? Kael's gaze swept the crowd. Because I have spent 300 years protecting you. My laws forbid the killing of innocents. Any vampire who breaks them answers to me. Why should we trust you? Someone else called. You should not. Kael's honesty cut through the fear. But tonight you saw me fight to protect you. You saw humans and my kind work together. He gestured to Rowan. This woman saved my life. I saved yours. That is the only truth I can offer. The crowd murmured. Phones glowed in the darkness, recording, streaming, spreading the truth across the internet. Sheriff Cordero exhaled slowly. Then we are going to need to talk. Set up real rules. Real oversight. Agreed. A fragile, tentative truce settled over the square. Rowan barely heard it. Her mind was spinning. Ask her about her mother. What did Valora mean? She felt a hand on her shoulder. Mrs. Gable. The older woman's face was pale, her eyes wet with tears. Rowan, we need to talk. What is it? Mrs. Gable glanced at Kael, then back to Rowan. Not here. Come with me. They walked to the edge of the square, away from the crowd. Mrs. Gable's hands were trembling. Your mother, she began. I knew her. Rowan's breath caught. What? She brought you to me when you were 7 years old. Made me promise never to tell you who she was. Made me promise to keep you safe. Mrs. Gable's voice broke. I thought she was running from an abusive partner. I did not know. Know what? That she was one of them. Mrs. Gable met her eyes. Your mother was bloodborne, Rowan. A vampire. She fell in love with a human man. They had you. You are half vampire. That is why you have no memories before age 7. She had a witch bind your powers, hide what you are, so you could grow up safe. The world tilted. Everything made sense. The speed. The strength. The visions. The way Kael's blood had bonded with hers so easily. Kael was suddenly beside her, his hand steadying her elbow. He had heard every word. Rowan looked at him. Did you know? Not until tonight. His eyes were full of wonder and fear and something that looked like hope. When I saw you fight, I suspected. But this. I am not human, Rowan whispered. You are more than human, Kael corrected gently. You are both. The best of both. Before Rowan could respond, the crowd gasped. A figure stepped out of the forest shadows at the edge of the square. A woman. Ageless and ethereal, with auburn hair like Rowan's and eyes the color of amber. She wore a long black cloak, and power radiated from her like heat from fire. She smiled. Hello, daughter. Rowan could not breathe. The woman walked forward, and the remaining humans instinctively moved out of her path. It is time you learned what you truly are. And why Valora was never the real threat. Kael went rigid beside Rowan. His voice was barely a whisper. Morgessa. The lost queen. Rowan's mother smiled at him. Hello, Kael. It has been a long time. Rowan's mother is alive. And she's a vampire queen. Comment if your mind is blown right now, because the final chapter is going to shatter everything you thought you knew. Morgessa moved through the crowd like water, graceful and unstoppable. Every vampire still present immediately dropped to one knee. Even Kael bowed his head slightly, though he did not kneel. Rowan stood frozen. This woman had her eyes, her smile, her hands. Mother? Morgessa stopped 3 feet away, and her expression crumpled with emotion. I have waited 16 years to hear you say that word. You left me. Rowan's voice cracked. I was 7 years old, and you left me in the woods. To save your life. Morgessa's eyes glistened. I was the queen of the Northern Bloodborne, the most powerful vampire house in North America. I fell in love with a human, a botanist named Eli who studied the forests near my territory. It was forbidden, but we did not care. She smiled sadly. We had you. A miracle. A child born of 2 worlds. Then why abandon me? Because the council found out. Morgessa's voice hardened. The ancients. The oldest vampires in existence. They have ruled from the shadows for 1,000 years, and they have one law above all others. No mixing of bloodlines. No half-bloods. They see beings like you as abominations. Threats to the purity of our kind. Rowan felt sick. They sent assassins. Morgessa stepped closer. They killed your father. Burned our home. I fought them off, but I knew they would never stop. So I made a choice. I found a blood witch and had her bind your powers, erase your memories, make you appear fully human. Then I faked my death, let the council believe you had died in the fire with Eli. She touched Rowan's cheek. I left you with someone I trusted to keep you hidden and safe. Mrs. Gable sobbed quietly. Morgessa's hand dropped. I have been watching from the shadows ever since, making sure you were safe. When Kael was cursed and fell near the orphanage, I thought it was coincidence. She looked at Kael. But nothing is coincidence. The moment you saved him, the moment the curse broke, every supernatural creature in the territory felt it. Including the council. Kael's face went pale. They know she exists. Yes. And Valora's attack was a distraction. The council wanted to see what you are, Rowan. To see if the rumors of a half-blood were true. You proved it tonight. You moved like one of us. Fought like one of us. The binding is breaking. What does that mean? Rowan's hands shook. It means they are coming for you. For both of you. Morgessa looked at Kael. You protect humans. You refuse to see them as food or slaves. The council sees that as treason. And Rowan is proof that the 2 worlds can unite. They will kill you both to send a message. The square had gone deathly quiet. How do we stop them? Kael stepped beside Rowan, his presence solid and protective. You fight. Morgessa's eyes blazed. You become what they fear most. You build an alliance between humans and bloodborne so strong they cannot break it. And Rowan, you embrace what you are. Both halves. Human compassion and vampire strength. I do not know how. I will teach you. Morgessa extended her hand. Come with me. Learn your heritage. Your power. Become the bridge between 2 worlds. Rowan stared at the offered hand. Everything in her life had led to this moment. The orphan who belonged nowhere was being offered a kingdom. A legacy. A mother. She looked at Kael. His golden eyes held hers, and he spoke quietly. I do not care what you are. Human, vampire, or something in between. You saved me when I was nothing but a wounded bird. You saw me when I was broken. He took her hand. That is all that matters. Something in Rowan's chest unlocked. She turned to Morgessa. I will learn. I will train. But I am not leaving Pinehaven. These people, those kids at the orphanage, they are my family too. I will protect both worlds. Not choose between them. Morgessa smiled, and it was fierce and proud. You are my daughter. Kael's hand tightened around Rowan's. And you are not alone in this fight. My coven, my resources, my life, they are yours. Rowan looked at him, really looked at him. This ancient, powerful, impossible man who had been broken and remade. Who had chosen mercy over vengeance. Who had trusted her with his darkest self. Kael, He kissed her. Soft and careful and full of promise. The square faded away. There was only his hand cradling her face, his heartbeat syncing with hers, the taste of hope and danger and something that felt like coming home. When they broke apart, the crowd erupted. Some people cheered. Some cried. Some just stared in shock. But the message was clear. Human and vampire. Standing together. Choosing love over fear. Sheriff Cordero cleared his throat. So, I guess we have a lot to figure out. Kael smiled. We do. But tonight, it is Thanksgiving. Let us start with gratitude that we are all still alive. Nervous laughter rippled through the crowd. Over the next hour, the square slowly emptied. Kael and the sheriff agreed to meet the next day to discuss terms. Morgessa vanished into the forest, promising to return when Rowan was ready to begin training. The orphanage kids were loaded into Mrs. Gable's van, exhausted and confused but safe. Rowan stood in the empty square with Kael as the first stars appeared. What happens now? She asked. Now we prepare. Kael looked at the sky. The council will not wait long. They will send someone to test us. To see if we are strong enough to be worth destroying. Are we? He looked at her, and his smile was equal parts dangerous and tender. We saved each other, Rowan. A vampire lord and an orphan girl. If they underestimate that, they have already lost. She leaned into him. I am scared. Good. So am I. He wrapped an arm around her. But we face it together. They walked back to the orphanage as the moon rose over Pinehaven. The house was quiet when they arrived, the children asleep, Mrs. Gable sitting on the porch with a cup of tea and a 1,000-yard stare. They are safe? Rowan asked. For now. Mrs. Gable looked at her. You are leaving, are not you? No. Rowan sat beside her. I am staying. But things are going to be different. Different how? I am going to learn to protect them. Really protect them. She met the older woman's eyes. I am going to become something they cannot break. Mrs. Gable squeezed her hand. You already are, sweetheart. Over the next week, a new rhythm emerged. Kael established a formal alliance between Thornwald Coven and the town of Pinehaven. Humans and vampires met openly for the first time in centuries, negotiating terms, building trust. It was fragile and imperfect, but it was a start. Morgessa returned and began training Rowan in the forest, teaching her to move with supernatural speed, to hear heartbeats from 100 yards, to access the strength sleeping in her blood. Rowan spent her mornings with the orphans, her afternoons learning what she was, her evenings with Kael. She was building a life that spanned 2 worlds. One night, 3 weeks after Thanksgiving, Rowan sat in her small bedroom at the orphanage. She was exhausted, bruised from training, but more alive than she had ever felt. A soft tapping at the window made her look up. An owl perched on the sill. White and silver feathers. Golden eyes. She smiled and opened the window. Show off. The owl hopped inside and transformed. Kael stood in her tiny room, ducking to avoid hitting his head on the ceiling. He pulled her into his arms. I missed you, he murmured against her hair. You saw me 4 hours ago. 4 hours too long. She laughed and kissed him. They stood there, wrapped in each other, the impossible made real. A sound outside made them both freeze. Kael moved to the window, his body tense. Rowan joined him. The forest beyond the orphanage was dark and still. Too still. Do you feel that? Kael whispered. Rowan nodded. Something was out there. Watching. Waiting. Morgessa appeared at the bedroom door, moving silently. She had been staying in the orphanage's attic, guarding from the shadows. Her face was grim. They have sent someone. The council's best hunter. Who? Kael asked. Morgessa's expression was unreadable. Someone who knows Rowan better than anyone. Deep in the forest, a figure stood beneath the trees. Tall and lean, with ice blue eyes that glowed in the darkness. He watched the orphanage, watched the light in Rowan's window, and smiled. Found you, little sister. He turned and vanished into the shadows, leaving only frost on the leaves where he had stood. Rowan has a brother, and he's hunting her. If you need to know what happens next, if you are dying to see how the story continues, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me you are ready for part 2. Because this is only the beginning, and what is coming will change everything. Trust me, you do not want to miss what happens when family becomes the enemy and Rowan discovers the truth about what she really is. The next chapter drops soon, but only if you let me know you are with me. Comment, subscribe, and let me know you are ready. This story is far from over.